So good evening, everyone. I mean, it's really a pleasure to have the conversation about millets. Actually, I mean, yesterday I was speaking to a couple of my friends who are foreigners, and they are all interested in millets. So some of them they haven't heard of millets. When I told them the importance of millets and also mainly Dr. Kadavali's work, people were fascinated. Sir, I think you have much more. You need to do much more work in Europe. Yeah.
No, I my no, no. My main interest is to protect Indian farmers and Indian countries' health. You see, other countries can follow or take a note out of our workings, but you see, it's such a huge playing field. Everyone has to work it out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we need to concentrate on India and see, India is in trouble. I mean, it's people are not aware of what is going to happen. Sooner or later, everyone should be aware of this.
So Jagadish is in Germany, operating from Germany.
Yeah, Jagadish, you can call me. I'll come to Europe. I'm not against.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
Okay,
I'm not against
Jagadish,
working in any place, but I thought I should. I could have stayed back in America and worked, but then I felt I'm indebted to India. So basically, I thought I should work in.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so much. So let's officially start now. So we are representing FABA here. So I'll give a brief intro what exactly is FABA. I mean, many of you might be knowing what is FABA, but FABA is actually a non-profit organization, Federation of Asian Biotechnology Association, started in 2005. And we have representation of FABA in various countries, around 19 to 20 countries, not only in Asia and Africa, and we are also expanding to many parts of the world. So mainly, I think many people might be knowing about the main event, what that FABA organizes called BioAsia. It has been there from past 18 years. And recently, like 2 years back, we also started something called FABA Academy, where to empower students, academia, industry, to upskill them and also to get the jobs. And recently in the month of August, we started something called FABA Entrepreneurship Wing, where with the help of FABA's network expertise, we want to help out startups, whether to raise investments or mentoring. So FABA is like a one-stop shop for bio people. So it could be startups, it could be industry, academia, or students, whether they need jobs or investment, so they can come to us. So I joined recently as Chief Operating Officer at FABA, so mainly to build all the ecosystem around. So without further ado, I will actually ask now, we'll go with Dr. CVCM Reddy Garu for the next 5 minutes. So I will introduce you, sir. So Dr. CVCM Reddy is a principal scientist at Acharya Enjiranga Agriculture University, who has developed and commercialized millet varieties. He has published several papers about his research on various millets, such as Italian millet, Kodo millet, Proso millet, Foxtail millet, and others. Dr. Reddy received his postdoctoral fellowship at West Virginia State University and his PhD in genetics and plant breeding from BHU, Banaras Hindu University. Sir, thanks for joining, and the stage is yours.
Good evening to the galaxy of members, because the fatherly figure, Dr. Kadarwali sir, is in our group, and we are sharing regarding the importance of millets. We all know, and we are all hearing the hue and cry, means a lot of buzzing, means buzz is going on pertaining to millets. As scientists at Acharya Enjiranga Agricultural University, we are also making a clear-cut dent in the evolution of millet spread across the country as well as the globe. So my profession or my objective during my duty is I'm a specialized person in genetics and plant breeding, and as a scientist, I recruited in I entered into this Acharya Enjiranga Agricultural University. For the past 10 to 12 years, I was inclined towards millet research activities. Earlier I was in cotton breeding program. So my objective of the things means what I am doing in my activity is that first thing is varietal improvement program, and second thing is to make the seed available to the needy farmer. Second thing is to make the seed available to the needy farmers, and third one is popularization. For the past almost 40 decades, agriculture the importance what happened because of its undue stand in the society. But our beloved, our respectable person, Dr. Khadarwali sir, when he entered into this millets, then the topography was quite changed. Lot of acceptance because of its real and curative properties really graced and accepted by the society. Because many people are we are all even at our home, we are all having different lifestyle problems and a lot of unsolved health issues are there. And Khadarwali sir, when he was advising that this, if you eat and you will forget about the disease. In that way, lot of craze, lot of demand was created and is going on. See, this is a kind of in consumers market or in consumer platform, lot of awareness is prevailed. So that is the main indicator for us to develop good varieties and to make the seed available to the farmer. And third one is to promote good agricultural practices. So in agricultural university and our Acharya Engineering Agricultural University is doing work in sorghum, foxtail millet, kodo millet, even brown top millet and finger millet. And directly I am involved in these programs at our regional agricultural research station, Nandyala, sir.
Yes.
But recently I was transferred to Anantapur. There, the mandate crop is pearl millet, bajra. So we're all deeply working to make the quality seed available to the farmer. That is the simple objective, because a lot of market demand is there, but farmer needs good quality seed. He should know good agricultural practices. He has to get more yield. And we are proud to say that our university gave good number of varieties which really translated at field level. Long back, we used to hear that in rain-fed areas, all these millets will get almost 2 to 3 quintals or 4 quintals per acre. But right now, the yield advantage and yield topography is completely changed. These millets are cultivating by the farmers and they are getting even 8 to 10, 12, 13, 15, 18 quintals per acre. So this is the yield advantage of accepting the quality seed. So there is genetics and plant breeding and simple principles are there, and genetic enhancement and crop improvement was done, and very good varieties were released from Agriculture University and especially by me. In foxtail millet, I released the varieties like 60 days duration variety, 70 days duration variety, 80 days duration variety, and 90 days duration variety. Why? These varieties were given certain names. But see, why I am particularly indicating the 60 days duration variety, because farmers need such kind of varieties in cropping systems. So in just if you have just 60 days or 70 days duration during summer period, so if they want to have good yield, particularly the millet, then they used to have this variety and they are cultivating and they are getting good yields. For example, Renadu is the variety which was released by me during the 2020. So that variety was just exactly can be harvested in 60 days. It was very popular during summer season and contingency cropping systems. And another variety is Suryanandi, 70 days duration variety. And this was also very much accepted by the rain-fed farmers because in 70 days, exactly in 70 days, this variety it can be harvested. So what I mean to say is that if good performance is given by the variety, farmers are definitely accepting those varieties. And we are proud to say that our university and especially by me, before last year, we produced 60 tons of foxtail millet seed, 60 tons of foxtail millet seed and 40 tons of sorghum seed. And we sold out completely, almost 100 tons of seed, single institution from single person produced quality seed and spread it out across the country, including in the northeastern states. So this is the strength of the research scientists. If their varieties or hybrids or whatever may be are accepted or performing well, then farmers will accept. Because so this is the glorious years are happening right now regarding millets. Globally or nationally or at state levels, everybody is fascinated and are just owning these millets. So at this point of time, the real challenge to the millet market is that good quality production should be there. For quality production, quality seed is required. So in that way, we are contributing in our best possible way in millet revolution, sir. This is the brief success story I would like to tell to the August body. Thank you.
Excellent, sir. Thank you so much. It's really fascinating to know. I mean, the lab, bench to bedside, we call it in the translation science, but yours is like lab to field. Excellent.
Yes. See, we are not working in either Germany or USA, but we are working at the remotest part of the research stations in India. So a lot of difficulties will be there. But instead of telling a lot of problems, we are just coming out with good varieties and making the seed available to the farmer. Just I am repeating this second objective, making the seed available to the farmers. So there our success story is reflected, sir.
Thank you, sir. So audience, like if you want to ask a question, feel free to ask in the chat, or otherwise in the end, you can ask directly all the panelists.
Yeah, I think congratulate Dr. Reddy for your wonderful work. You may leave your contact details for if anybody would like to have the seeds. No?
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Leave that in the chat box.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they can contact you also.
So I was given short time. So in that short time, what I mean to
that
convey,
gives
that is
immense
conveyed.
information.
And instead of this, we are collecting a lot of germplasm, and we are just categorizing, and we are preserving, we are maintaining. A lot of these things are doing. Those are all the back-end activities, are for students or for research scientists, whoever are interested. We are doing. But the frontline activity, see, the business of the scientist is to help the farmer and to satisfy the end. Our end client is farmer. So in that way, varieties and the seed. So there, we are proud to say that our university is really at this crucial position. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So now let's move to the next speaker, Vishal Reddy Garu. Vishala Reddy Garu, sorry. Okay, so Vishala Reddy Garu is the founder of Millet Bank, a social enterprise in the agri and food space. As well as a farmer's daughter. Wow, so proud. And a social entrepreneur with over 18 years of experience. Millet Bank was founded to help farmers in arid regions. Millet Bank established a new network of 500 plus farmers, 100 micro entrepreneurs, a farmer field school, 15 value-added products, and a gifting division to support rural artisans and craftspeople in 15 months. Ma'am, it's a pleasure to have you here, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Jagdish. And first of all, I would like to thank Professor Redana Garu. BioAsia and FABA is very close to my heart. I was project manager for BioAsia event for 3 years, and I was also sales manager for 2 years, who handled BioAsia account from Novotel HICC. So I'm very well aware of FABA activities, and thank you so much for giving me this platform. And I'm very humbled to share this platform with Dr. Kadarwali Garu and GPK Rao sir. And Dr. Kadarwali sir is actually, I've been following, and he has a great influence on me. And also, sir, GBK Rao I met in a couple of hospitality platforms. So thank you so much for, for giving me this platform with them. And Millet Bank, it's a very simple story. I'll start where Dr. Reddy Garu stopped. So the quality seed is given to the farmer, and the quality production happens. So what happens after that? So my sister, who lives in Kolar district, Karnataka, and it's a case study that actually I witnessed, and I wanted to help my sister, and as well as hundreds of people like my sister. She has taken the quality seed. She has done excellent production. But her foxtail millet, which is super good quality, remained in her house for almost 1 year. And people were asking for 15 rupees, like, as a raw grains. And she lives in a very small house, like, for the last 10 years, there is no improvement in her status. I was thinking why I am actually working for bigger brands. I've been in the hospitality industry for 18 years and worked for marketing and sales. Why don't I use my skills to help my own sister? So that is how the Millet Bank name has come in. And why Millet Bank? When I was a child, I've grown up in the village in a Rayalaseema region. I've not even seen a real train, how it looks like, until 18 years of my life. So I have very closely noticed what happens in my house. So my house was very, very small. There were like 8 or 10 of gadalu, we call that gadalu, where my mother used to store at least 30 plus grains and pulses and millets. So this gade, which is actually Jane says earthen pot, was actually, for me, it's a symbol of food diversity, crop diversity, food security, legacy, and whatever the terms that we are using in UN conferences everywhere now, it's actually a symbol. So it was already there. Today I go and ask my sister-in-law what is there for dinner. She says chapati. So that is the kind of, very clear legacy of, that we lost that legacy and the culture. So I wanted to bring back. So I took that giant size earthen pot as a symbol for my company logo also. So that is how the Millet Bank. Now, what are we doing? How are we bringing this legacy and culture back? We are not very product driven company. We are so much of legacy and culture driven company. So there are a couple of interventions that we have done. We've introduced. Number one, what I felt is that the farmers at the grassroots level, earlier olden days, they used to grow this millets only for their own domestic purposes. Now suddenly we are asking them to grow for commercial markets, but without even providing any kind of ecosystem. Though there were no primary processing units, no secondary manufacturing units, no support system, technology, access to the machinery. Because it's not combined families now, it's all 1-2 people. They can't do this kind of a huge work. So that is one of the reasons that we have to provide that integrated infrastructure where you give a seed, quality seed. There should be a seed bank, there should be a primary processing unit, there should be a secondary processing unit, there should be a retail for the villagers also, because not everybody is a farmer. They also need to buy. Their nutrition improvement also is important. And there has to be absolutely clean triad. Now they are putting all the millets on the tar roads, and there's a huge food contamination happening. So we wanted to give some kind of integrated infrastructure. So we have actually done one project. I've converted my own agricultural shed into a community center, a museum. But we want to now scale up and give a bigger infrastructure. And we are working on one of the prototype model. And our design won MIT Design Impact Award. So we are working with a couple of governments. Maybe in this 6 months, we will introduce one integrated infrastructure project in one of the arid region. Either that can be in Telangana, Andhra, or Orissa. We are in talks with the government. So that is number one. And number two is the urban consumer awareness. We have spoken to at least 100 consumers in one of the conference. 90 plus people, they couldn't even recognize what is millet and which millet is what, including pearl millet, which is very popular. So we have actually chosen this gifting, like corporate gifting, conference delegate gifting. Whichever is the conference, we go and put one biscuit packet in their delegate kit, or one Nutri bar or something like that. And all these 1,000 people, 2,000 people immediately get sensitized. So we also give description, what is is millet, what are the useful uses of millets. And not only millets, we also include crafts, because agriculture is not about food production. Agriculture is also about to take care of the rural livelihoods and artisans. So we include crafts and millet products, and we start giving gifting. And the second thing is that we also showcase these millets, like raw millets, and their introduction, and then ask them to touch the millet and then see, so that the awareness is there. And the third one is that lost recipes. So we are planning to introduce a project which is 1,000 lost recipes, which we used to make as a culture. In our place there is something called saskalu, which is noodles kind of thing, which we make during the harvest, seeding season. So something like that we wanted to bring back and showcase through YouTube, so that people will get sensitized and they will also know how to make this. So this is the kind of consumer awareness activities that we are doing. And third one is that products. We are not manufacturing anything. There are hundreds of units which are actually, they are not doing well because of the lack of marketing platforms. So we tied up with micro manufacturing units. We sometimes give them the formula, or if they have good formula, we as it is take it to the market. So we've launched about 15 products, 6 varieties of cookies and 5 varieties of noodles. We've launched some traditional foods also, like upma and pongal mixes, and we are planning to launch 25 more products, not only the snacking category but also traditional foods category. So and the fourth one is collaboration center. Millets is something which needs a huge awareness and marketing and branding. I think Dr. Kadarvalli Garu has done enormous contribution in creating awareness about millets. And what we are doing here is actually to bring all the players together, making them to collaborate with each other, and go as a build an ecosystem together. It's not just we have to go and build our company, but we're also helping a lot of others to come and supporting in their branding, supporting in their digital marketing, content marketing, and also this is a collaboration center I am sitting in, 6,500 SFT place. We have a design center, we have a gifting studio, and we also have a community engagement platform. So these are the 4 interventions. I call it as agri-ecological interventions. That is a word that I only invented. So whether right or wrong, so we are trying to do our best to make millets as the mainstream, to the mainstream, and to create awareness and to help. At the end of the day, I have to help my own community. That is the vision that we have, and hundreds of farmers from the area regions. So that's it. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Vishal dear. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think for all the delegates who are coming to various conferences, we can give the kit, millet kit, yes, here onwards.
Yeah. I think that would be a great idea, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Great. Okay, ma'am, there was some kind of millet competition from Indian government, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so did you participate in it? Because your thing is really big.
Actually, we recently won Best Startup Award for Marketing and Branding. We are just 15 months old company, and we've grown too fast to begin in such a short time. And yes, we are participating because the grain box idea which we've designed, we are going to submit our application also. Time is there. I think December end is the time. So our prototype is happening.
Okay.
Working on it.
Great. Thank you so much, ma'am. So let's move to the next speaker, Dr. G.B. Rao garu. An engineer turned environmentalist, is the architect of Pragati Biodiversity Knowledge Park and the founder chairman of Pragati Group and chairman expert committee on agriculture and food processing for Southern region, and also Indian Chamber of Commerce. Sir, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure. Dr. Kadarvalli, FABA again, Redana, and all delegates, whoever is, and the viewers. It's a great pleasure. I'm talking about the millets of the year. The world itself recognized because Dr. Kadarvalli is put such a awareness, bringing this millets and leaving the America and coming back to our own country, India. You have to talk so much about him before talking anything, but this is the time where many people know about him, and we have to bring the awareness about the quality of seed and quality of millets. That Pragati is already an environment biodiversity park, where the environment not only for human beings or for all living beings, the millets is the best answer. Why? The rice, it requires more than 28,000 liters to get 1 kg of rice, whereas the millet doesn't need even 300 liters, 500 liters, even rain-fed, it comes. The future is the resources, all the resources which we are consuming today. For next generation, certainly it is going to be a biggest threat. And the diseases we are seeing by using this rice, and government also is a role that, playing such a free supply of rice for the poor, which, it is not giving the food, it is giving the diseases, and people can't even think of it, their workforce. People are not able to have any strength. And with all diseases, hospitals are increasing. In this consideration, this millets has to be brought the quality of seed, and also as processing units must be there. That's why the price, you don't get the right price for the growers unless you have processing units. Like the similar like that, refined oils also is diseases which are taking place. Instead of that, whatever the oils, which is ganga, katiganga, that is called cold press oil, these are all villages have to be started with this type of making healthy food. That is the millets, or the palm jaggery, or the refined oils, or the coffee, instead of coffee tea, the herbal, medicinal, those herbal tea. Unless we change, start with this millet today, the program. This millet is what we grow here with the natural farming. It is not only the birds. You will find so many birds because of these millets, and we don't need much, again, for fertilization, fertigation and all is not required. And the birds always keeps the very healthy climate, because the biodiversity is taken care by the birds so much. Migrated birds, will find so many migrated birds will come. The whole environment is completely changes. So we need to have the millets, not only the type of whatever rice and wheat we make the recipes, idli, vada, sambar, anything, whatever is there, dosa, upma, a type of even today, Pragati, we call that rice means only millet. We don't call paddy. The rice, this type of awareness has to be brought. Rice means only millet. Such level, Dr. Kadarwaliji is making such a big efforts, and certainly it is going to be a change. It is not just the health of the person. It is a healthy family and healthy environment, and all the living beings, they will be safe, and like Bhu Kalasham, Jala Kalasham, Vayu Kalasham, all this pollution will be disappear if you go. Consumption is important. What type of consume you are taking. If you are taking Pepsi, Coke, the chemical industries and the chemical, it will create the soil with the chemical pollution, water chemical pollution. This is what we have to use, the type of instead of coffee tea. Let's take the herbal juices, or the vegetable juices, fruit juices, or the type of whatever the plant-based. That is what Pragati is always forefront in this particular millets to educate and communicate awareness. And we also have cold press oils with the bull, right with the Katiganuga, that is cold press. Such things can be seen, and let us see that educating the schools, colleges, and universities, particularly the corporates. Unless we encourage to see such things at Pragati, awareness on the millets will not be that much fast, even though it is making efforts, many people, but to bring to the places where such things are happening. There is now what type of millets, pastel millet or Godo millet, the difference is not seen by seeing the millets. The people have no awareness in that. So I request let us all put serious efforts to bring awareness and how to make it recipe is a tasteful. That is, once the taste is seen, practically whatever they make, that is either idli, vada, dosa, or upma, or the chapati, they will ask only the millet food, not rice or other wheat. So thank you so much, Redanaji. You have given me an opportunity. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Dr. Rao Garu. So Pragati, it is not only just he has talked only about the millets today, but he has a complete garden of medicinal plants. And the kind of aroma that comes when the moment you enter into Pragati, you will, most of your illnesses will be cured there itself. And it is a wonderful place for anybody to visit and then stay and then go through the treatment. So millet is the new introduction at Pragati. Otherwise, there is a herbal garden and medicinal plants and beautiful flowers, all biodiversity, whatever that we are talking, you can see in that place. Spread over 2,500 acres. So that is for somebody who is in the cities, with all the kind of smoke that we get, if you go there and then spend 1 week, that is enough. I think you can recoup and then come back to the dungeon. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, I got really connected with your talk because even my family tradition is to make oil, Ganiga Nuna. So my surname Ganla is Ganiga actually in Kannada.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
Is a change is required. Is a change. Our consumption, unless we consume, the market will not come. So consumption is important.
Exactly, sir. Yeah.
Thank
Great. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. So let's move to the main topic now, Dr. Kadavali Garu. Dr. Kadavali worked hard for 20 years to bring back Siridhania, which is also called positive millet, and was almost extinct. He got his PhD from the IASC and did a postdoctoral research in the United States. His research involved making chemicals like dioxin less dangerous, and he came back with a way to grow the positive millets normally called Kadu Krishi, which is also called jungle farming. Sir, I think we can write a big essay about you because I think your name is very familiar. Your name is very familiar. When I was talking to a couple of Indian friends here in Germany, they said like we are following the diet. So that means the impact of yours is enormous. Sir, feel free to talk now.
Yeah. It's a search for the course correction that the human race has been devastatingly traveling towards its own destruction by the choices of the food that the food corporates have made so far in the last 100 years. So this was very obvious for me when I first went to America. Of course, even before I went to America, when I just started my PhD back in 1982, I was aware that the food system is wrong, because by then itself, I was aware that the so-called diabetes, blood pressure, and thyroid complex diseases were in increase. Even way back in 1980s, I was aware of these issues. It's that I was also very determined to find the right things. And while starting my journey, I actually did my PhD on steroid metabolism, both in plants, microbes, as well as mammalian systems. So that gave me a good background to start with. So microbial transformations and all kinds of different techniques that a biologist could get acquainted with was blessingly given to me in the form of University of Science, a fantastic place to do research. And I was a very independent fellow. I had to fight with my guide to do what I wanted to do. So lot of things. And I went to America. Indian Institute of Science left me that way path, because anyone who does PhD is easily absorbed in the so-called higher institutes in America. And I went there and did a lot of work on dioxins, trinitrotoluene, and all toxic environmental persistent chemicals to be degraded to make it less dangerous for the world. While doing that, I figured out that the whole world is going the wrong direction by choosing the rice, wheat, sugarcane combination. You know, sugarcane, of course, has a bad history of creating slavery and the sugar estate. The word estate came because of sugarcane, and that's not the real sweet of the human race. The human race sweet should have been the isomer of glucose, which is sweet, fructose, and which does not disturb the homeostasis of our blood. So when you start consuming sugarcane sugar, we have started inviting the diseases. And this is the fundamental biochemical principles we have started negating. And it is actually sad and very amusing for me sometimes that why not a single biochemist came up with this observation and told that this should not be our food, this should not be entering our mouths, this should not be the way human race should be doing. And it really proved to me that it is only the business that has been controlling all over the world, and rice and wheat are also actually the candidates chosen by this green revolution. These two grains leave us wantingly. Very bad immune system is created when you eat rice and wheat, because we are dumping blood glucose levels shoot up in no time, within 15-20 minutes, because there is nothing to stop the release of glucose into our bloodstream, because there is no fiber involved in the carbohydrate release. So our enzymes have very easy way of getting to the glucose, and the glucose is flooded in our blood. So this is the fundamental reason why I started looking for grains that can release the glucose slowly and steadily, such that our homeostasis of the blood stream is not disturbed. And that's where the health lies. So if you disturb the homeostasis, we are in trouble. And that is the only reason why we have all these myriad types of diseases, whether be it blood pressure, be it diabetes, be it thyroid disturbance, be it rheumatic factor, be it glycogen disturbance, be it cholesterol, right? Everything is decided once the glucose levels increase in the blood. Whole different biochemical reactions are starting in our bloodstream. And that's where we are inviting diseases. So first thing is to have the glucose imbalance corrected in the food. So it is only the food that can do this job. Hence the search. So I took 20 to 30 diabetic patients who could be the real tool to design the grain research. So when you feed different grains to this HbA1c, say 10 or 11 or 12, even 12, that means they are not able to hold the glucose at all in their renal tolerance test. That is, when you feed some food, the glucose appears in the urine within 1 hour, 1.5 hours. That is the problem they have created for themselves, because of the homeostasis of the whole blood is disturbed. So now if I have a grain which can release glucose slowly and steadily, this is a direct experiment. I don't like to fool around with glycemic index, which is a calculated parameter. That doesn't lead us anywhere. That is not a good assay for a parameter to be decided. So renal tolerance test is the best tool and best assay. And I was actually out of lab ecology. I mean, there is no lab for me. There is nothing that I could do, because I decided to stop working in the regular established system, because they are all biased. They are all biased. They have declared diabetes to be incurable, and that should not be the way. You see, 1954, India government has released a document, a law that if someone cures diabetes, he should be put in jail, because there is no wonder drug. It is called Wonder Drug Act. And this is the same thing in every country. some way or the other, they have decided to see that these diseases are not cured, period. So I knew the established system is not going to be encouraging. So that's how I declared myself as an independent scientist and started working. And so I don't have the route that the regular scientists have the access to, which I was, of course, associated with the DuPont. I did a lot of genetics, everything, you name it, I have done it. That's a separate issue. So now I had to become totally different kind of scientist and still figure out different aspects of these wonderful grains. So this was the first test we did, renal tolerance tests, collected 20 to 30 highly diabetic patients and fed them the porridge of different grains, which I have actually tabulated in my book, 12 grains, including rice and wheat. We figured that from this simple experiment that these 5 grains that I have chosen, kodo, foxtail, barnyard, brown top, and little millet, have the capacity to release glucose slowly and steadily, because the glucose spike appears only after 3 or 4 hours, including this kind of highly diabetic patients. So that gave me the best result. And so I was so sure that if I feed these grains continuously to any kind of patient whose problems are associated with glucose imbalance, and 99% of our diseases are due to that. So lo and behold, many diseases started disappearing in a matter of 3 months to 6 months. So that was a wonderful discovery, which I believe is very seminal work for whole future human race generations. And sadly, I cannot publish this because no one accepts this. That is the problem. Anyway, it doesn't matter for me, because for me, it was what all left was to go and tell people directly. I had to, actually, I spent 2 years, wasted my time naively thinking that I go to doctors, I go to policymakers, I go to these big organizations like CFTRI. No one was encouraging. So I decided this is it. I have to do it alone by myself. So I started visiting villages, collecting people, talking to them in their own language, and explaining and making them to grow this, because as the madam described very clearly, it was pathetic, because the food corporate culture has made all the grains in the world irrelevant. And in fact, people used to sell for bird feed and 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 3 rupees. This is the saddest story human race has generated in the last 100 years, because of these food corporates taking over the whole world's food. And that itself is the most unscientific thing, according to me, that we can grow anywhere and everywhere these wonderful grains. 4 rains are necessary. Biodiversity is maintained. The range of these grains is 10 degrees to 45 degrees. And how stupid can the so-called agricultural universities be in choosing rice and wheat as main staple food and allowing it to grow into the whole planet? And this is where the disastrous impact has been slowly accumulating. And we are here we are, when there is a fight between 2 countries, many countries go without food. So all these issues can be solved. Temperature issues, environmental issues, biodiversity issues, food security, sovereignty. And this sovereignty is one thing which everyone forgets to talk about. And all these tech companies, biological institutes, so-called scientists, these are all talking about various things, but the sovereignty of the farmer is completely taken away in the name of biotechnology, in the name of science, in the name of higher yields, in the name of all these, according to me, nonsense parameters, which we want to focus upon. That's not the way it should be. It should be. See, all these people are trying to be themselves in focus and forgetting the farmers and the people, because the business entity comes into picture. So Dr. From Acharya University said, in fact, without anything, we have also been able to make the farmers grow 18 quintals of kodo millet. No, nothing done. It is just the conditions. So it is the training for the farmers. How to grow is the most important thing. It is not the varieties, because each and every grain God has made has the capacity to yield higher yields once the conditions fall in place. And that is the way the choice of rice and wheat is done, because of this scientists C3 food, C3 to C4. If you have water, the yield sinks. And that's what they did. And that's what they have taken hold of the seeds all over the world. And it is the seed companies that make money, not the farmers. See, farmers are reduced to laborers. And this is what I'm totally against about anything. If sovereignty of the seeds, it is okay to increase the yield and so all this. And then when it becomes business and the seeds have to be procured by the farmers every year, is the problem. So whatever you do, this point has to be addressed. So are we working for the sovereignty of the farmer, food security? So this is where I differed from all the scientists who are working in the organizations. So that's how I had to become independent. In fact, we have trained thousands and thousands of farmers in our field, which we have built, called that jungle Krushi. It's called Kadu is in Kannada. The equivalent word is in jungle. The English word or Hindi word is jungle. So jungle farming, where you don't need any inputs. So you build a small forest nearby your land. If you have 8 acres, build a forest of 3 acres, natural, local, big plant trees, which will build its own ecology. That will supply all the needs for the land to grow your food in the next 5 acres lying nearby. And we have all the wonderful scientific parameters set up. So any place you can set this up, and we have written a small booklet about it. And the information is freely shared with everyone. Whoever wants to do it can be shared. It is all put up on the Google PDF forms. Everything is to be shared. And this is where I find myself very, very different from everyone that I have met, because everyone is trying to some way or the other make it. Business is important. I'm not against business, but we cannot take away the sovereignty of the farmers. And that's where I differ. And so we have now wonderful varieties of seeds, and they become varieties by just the environmental conditions being varying. So in nature, the varieties are produced. We only have to select them and do that. So this is the fundamental problems that I have faced in my intellectual questioning, that we need to do these things sincerely. And I have been doing that for the last 20-25 years. Apart from that, we need to create a holistic, sustainable, healthy living systems. And we being one among the living things, the human race. So that means we need to be procuring and conserving things at the same time. So you procure your food from nature, but conserve the resources for the future generations. So this is another aspect which only millets can do. No other grains can do, because very difficult to find the range of this planet, from 10 degrees to 45 degrees. That means you can grow these millets anywhere on this planet. And that should be the way: local production, local processing, local transportation. The transportation, by centralizing these food corporates, they're creating havoc on the planet. The carbon footprint is so high because of these centralized food systems and the transportations that we have created. And that is only to make the control for the corporations. The centralized food systems, big godowns, big things, is all actually unscientific and unsustainable. It's only business as usual. So we need to think just the other way around: sovereignty, local, small scale, village level. So every place can be sustainable and locally fed, and a wonderful, healthy food should be generated. So all these parameters have to fall into place for me. And that's what I've been trying to do. And added to this, we need sweet, we need oils, we need other important issues. So the Jungle Krushi attempts to answer these questions. And in fact, we have grown in one session, when 5 to 6 rains come, we have grown 42 kinds of food materials. in the same 3-acre plot. And that actually serves food for more than 200 people for the whole year. So 2-3 rounds of that. So all these things, we have been working relentlessly to create a sustainable, healthy, holistic, secure, sovereign world for future generations, because I have seen these things are the major blocks for the food security. And actually the corporates, in the name of saying that they are creating higher yields and in a small place, which is a wrong parameter. It doesn't matter. We have thousands and thousands of acres lying free because we have eliminated millets from our plate and chosen only rice and wheat. And that can be produced only with irrigated systems. And here we are limited. And we are limited by the seed. We are limited by the fertilizers. We are limited by the pesticides because we are doing monocultures. Whereas jungle Krushi envisages multi-cropping systems at the same time and keeps the health and the biodiversity of various parameters of nature. So all these systems have to fall in place, and all said and done, everyone has to eat millets. Only then all these things can work. So the active work of reaching to people and explaining to them that we could cure any of the modern day diseases. We have done a lot of work at various levels. We've had a clinic. My daughter has been running that. We have shown thousands and thousands of the so-called incurable diseases disappearing away like that in a matter of 6 months to 2 years, including the so-called genetic disorders like myasthenia gravis or sclerosis or the so-called muscular dystrophy. All these, we had wonderful results. And diabetes, BP, thyroid issues are so small. Just you correct the glucose imbalance, you're free of diseases. And here we are harping in the name of pharmaceutical industries and medical systems. Thousands and thousands of libraries are set up to eliminate diseases. And till today, they have not found solutions even for one disease because they are not sincerely trying to do that. So the objective of our research has to eliminate diseases in the form of health giving. And so another big deviation that people are now talking is nutritional grains. Nutritional, it's not nutrition. Nutrition is found everywhere. Nutrition is found everywhere. It is the healing grains that is important. So the nutrition, you have nutrition even in rice, even in wheat, but it generates disease because of glucose imbalance, because of microbial imbalance, because of hormonal imbalance. So the food has to be the answer in negating the disease generation. And that is the most beautiful part of millets because of the fiber to carbohydrate ratio, the interloculated system of fiber to carbohydrates, which makes the glucose release slow and steady, regulates the release of glucose into our bloodstream. Apart from that, the soluble fiber and the insoluble fiber of these millets have wonderful PMF to offer. PMF of a wide range. That means that it can annihilate, annulate, completely negate the EMF generated due to various biochemical reactions, which is the cause of disease in the cellular level, organelle level, organ level, and as a whole, the body. So unless we address the origin of the disease in the form of EMF, electron motive force, which has to be negated then and there by PMF of our millet fiber, both soluble and insoluble. And that PMF comes from the lignons that are actually available on the top layers of our grains. So that's the reason why we should not be having processing units removing the top layers of our millets, because that's where lignons are present. The husk and the immediate 2-3 layers have got the lignons. Lignons are actually the precursors of lignin, that is wood. That is wood. You see, it is the wood that comes in the way of electrons being moving. So insulating agents are, what are these? The chemical structure of a lignin is the aromatic pool of the lignin. So the pool of benzene rings with OH and CH, OH, CH2OH. So this provides any EMF that, whether be it's large or small amount, can be absorbed because it's the pool of electrons that takes the EMF. And then this fiber can be thrown out in the form of shit, in the form of urine, in the form of any excreting systems of our human body. And that is the beauty, and that is where these millets become healing grains. So they are not only nutritional grains, they are healing grains. And finger millet, pearl millet, proso millet, these millets are falling short of healing systems. They are nutritional. In fact, some of them are more nutritional than the positive millets that we have put it in the list. So the healing is what is defined, and this is the fundamental difference in the way I look at the millets. Unlike all the other scientists, they're all looking at millets as a nutritional grains. They are not nutritional grains, they are healing grains because of the fundamental structure of these grains and the lignons that make these things happen by providing a wide range of PMF. Say curcumin from the haldi, turmeric. It has a particular EMF negating capacity. And you take, say, giloy, another leaf decoction. It has particular antioxidant. You take ginger, another EMF. So that's how we negate particular diseases. So acute conditions can be met with a particular EMF if we design that. So this design of millets as food has given me the whole range. So there is no disease that is going to be originating in your body as long as you are eating our millet food. And especially these 5 millets, I believe and I strongly hope and encourage future generations to search for more grains that are not only nutritional, but healing too. So the word healing has to be added into the domain of all research institutes. It's not nutrition. See, nutrition is there everywhere. You can find a nutrition in some other product, some other thing. Say strawberry has some nutrition, other thing has nutrition, or some other fruit in Japan has something, or some, but that cannot be available for everyone. So the wide range of this PMF that can be supplied to human race, each and every place, starting from a small auto driver in any city, this can be achieved by only food being millets. So the real scientific staple and most beautiful food that human guts can desire, want, is this millet food, whose definition has to be both nutritional, healing. Healing is by eliminating the toxic morbid waste that each and every day we generate in our biochemical processes. And I want to actually not take more time. I'm trying to concise the whole information in a matter of 30-40 minutes, though it requires minimum of 7 to 8 hours, even for a learned scientist gathering also, because so many aspects, parameters that I have been looking for and working in detail without a lab setup. And that is my limitation right now, because I am out of in the public and doing things in a different domain altogether. But it's because of the background that I have had with various biological systems. I'm trying to have a vision, and then the kind of experiments that I'm trying to generate in the public itself with various diseased conditions, I'm able to conclude. And the way it works, I'm so confident that the future generations will try to establish the so-called scientific peer-reviewed systems, all that will be coming, I guess, in the near future or maybe little later also. So, but fundamentally, we have found the solution. We have healed hundreds, not hundreds, thousands and thousands of people all over the planet. In fact, I've gone to Nigeria, and last 2 minutes, Nigeria, African millet is little millet, foxtail millet is Italian millet. In fact, barnyard millet is German millet, and kodo millet is Himalayan millet, and brown top millet is actually an American millet. Even today, the Colorado fellows are growing tons and tons. Bad luck for human race is that they are writing not for human consumption. It is bird feed. Such a sad story. Anyway, the most beautiful grain with 12.5% of fiber, which you divide the carbohydrate content of 69% in brown top millet, you get 5.5, the value, single digit. So that is the parameter. When you divide the carbohydrate by the fiber, if you get single digit, that becomes healing grain, because that has the capacity to regulate the glucose release into your bloodstream. And that has the capacity because of 8, 9, 10, 11, see 8% is foxtail millet, 9% is kodo millet, 9.8% is little millet, 12.5 is brown top, and barnyard is 10%, whereas finger millet is 3.6. So this is the difference. And that's how, in fact, finger millet is very nutritional. I mean, calcium is there. I think it has got 4 times more calcium than the milk that people are trumping upon. You know, the cow's milk, 1 liter has got only 900 milligrams of calcium, whereas 1 kilo of our finger millet has got almost 4 grams.
340.
Yeah, absolutely. So 4 times more calcium. But then our doctors and our scientists are not telling, when you have calcium problem, please eat millet, finger millet. No one tells. They're trying to sell calcium tablets. I mean, this is the sad story. And that's the business of it. So these kinds of issues, we need to get sensitized, and scientists have to keep the common man and the farmers in focus, not the corporations. So this is my message I have been trying to communicate to everyone, because unless we are free societies where knowledge cannot be sold, and this is Western culture has seeped into our systems, and we are trying to make money out of knowledge. And that is the sad story of human race. We need to devise different mechanisms to make money, not by selling them information. Information has to be free. And see, all the scientists, we think, oh, it's we are doing work, who is giving you money? It's the society. Society is paying you, and you are patenting and then trying to make more money. This is ridiculous. It's just like these corporates give you 400 rupees talk time free. What the hell? 400 rupees I have already paid. And what are you talking? You're giving me free talk time? The same thing we're telling, we're giving common man free rice. All these chief ministers, prime ministers of every country, blah, blah, blah. They say we are giving free. What free? We have paid money. It's our money. Who is giving free here? So all this hypocrisy should be out of the way. We need to be straight. We need to be simple. We need to be really scientific. Thank you. I don't want to take more of your time. Maybe another day we all will meet physically and have a one-day symposium and really exchange more information. I have a lot more information. But fundamentally, I'm trying to communicate to people that we need to eat the right food. And if your food is right, no medicine is needed. And if your food is wrong, no medicine works. Whether it is allopathy, naturopathy, homeopathy, tautopathy, and nothing worse, you go to Tirupati, we will become Draupadi, nothing else. So mind your food, change your life. Thank you.
So nice.
That's fantastic, sir. I mean, when you were talking about diabetes, I was just looking into the market of continuous glucose monitoring devices.
Yeah.
So the CGMs
in fact,
are...
sadly, I was in the thick of that. We are actually working on pesticide detections in the wide fields of space, water, and soil. Cholesterol esterase enzyme was actually tapped into a small strip. And from that, I was in DuPont. The DuPont-Merck combination devised this glucose strip from the same kind of work. Glucose hydrolase enzyme has been tapped into that, and then that glucose strips came to existence. So sadly, I was involved in that kind of work also.
Yeah, that field is bombarding. So there's one company in Bangalore coming called Ultrahuman.
Yeah,
they call it Apple of India.
Yeah, I know about all these things. Yeah, but suddenly it hit me when I was in America working in the pollution, the environmental departments of the university, that actually we have a system. I worked on TNT, degrading system, and dioxin, and the military is using the technology. The microbes that we have figured out, we have managed, is continuously in the Nevada desert. They're actually decomposing these big amounts of TNT, making it to carbon dioxide in a matter of 2 days. So tons of it is converted to carbon dioxide. And that's another big business for the American military. They actually take all the diffused and unused bomb materials and charge the countries, and then they take and get it into this. This is another big project going on. So all these kinds of nonsense things I have done. So I mean, there is no dearth for projects. We can create money like this, but there has to be a openness, and so ultimately the common man has to benefit. And if that is not our direction, and if that is not our goal, all our so-called names, science, technology, all these big sounding words, according to me, have no meaning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kadravalli. I think everybody is enlightened with your information. Hope everybody will shift into healing diets, healing grains.
Yes.
I'm sure there will be a lot of questions.
Please.
So whoever have questions, feel free to type or open your mics and speak up for any of the panelists.
Sir, I would like to ask just to clarify certain doubts and certain ideas I want to share, and I want to clarify myself.
Yes, sir.
Kadarwali sir, namaste. And actually, sir, we're all working like you to promote and to make the seed, to just have quality seed, so that actually these are all self-pollinated crops. So once given seed, and every time farmer can produce and farmer can keep that quality seed. No need of buying from institutions. Only once quality seed once, sir. That is our objective, and in that way only we are channelizing the things. And,
absolutely, sir. Absolutely. But this is the beginning of the story. This is the same thing happened with rice and wheat also.
See, sir, one submission, sir. Actually, we are working in systems and structures.
Yes.
See, we are the small players. Already you de-linked with these systems and structures. You are the freelancer. You can talk anything. See,
I'm trying to communicate to people that even if we build systems, there should be that openness, the open-endedness has to be there, because ultimately it is the people who are paying money. So why are we actually, see, this is where our problem is. We think we have done something great. No, but we are being paid by money by the people. So why are we again doing some nonsense? And that is my way of looking at things is that, see, they are paying us the salaries. And why are we again charging them something else? As long as you are doing this, excellent, sir. I have no, in fact, I don't find fault with anyone. I'm trying to find fault with the systems that we are building.
Yes, that is the problem, sir. That is actually becoming the problem. See,
Yes.
you are just the real inspiration for us, and we are just pushing these millets. See,
Yes.
why we are getting so many farmers means they were convinced and they were just clarified their doubts in production.
Yes, sir.
So in that way, we were attracted, sir. See, we were
Absolutely.
attracted. Why they are calling us? This is the only they are getting better solutions. So
And
they
I'm
got-
so glad you are in Anantapur, because I
Wonderful.
love Anantapur, because that is the most drought hit area, and all the farmers are actually in such a dire need. And once we make this as a food, and the whole world looks at Anantapur,
Yes,
and
sir.
so this is our work should be. This is how
Sir,
we should work.
in collaboration with Renadu Ramasubba Reddy garu in Anantapur, sir, under RDT.
Yes, sir.
500 acres of this
Yes.
production is carried, sir, and
Yes.
complete buyback with assured price.
Absolutely.
Complete buyback with beyond market price, assured price we are doing. So this
Yeah,
kind
that-
of
Absolutely. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I know a lot of people, good people in the system, being in the system are working. And the madam, I'm so inspired. The way you said about your logo, unbelievable. Please do send me the logo.
Definitely.
Wonderful. And
Thank-
the cooking of food should be in the mud pots. In fact, that's one of the most important things. Yeah, I mean, different aspects of cooking, how to cook, and what's the difference. I can go on talking about it again another half an hour. So let's not. So I'm so glad. There are hundreds and millions of ideas, millions of ways to help people.
one more submission,
It's-
sir. Actually,
Yeah.
There's
we are
one
also
question in
want
the
to
chat.
promote this PDS. See, under PDS system, the rice or wheat is distributing. So at least partially, these millets needs to be circulated through PDS. So
Yes. We need to put pressure on these politicians
yes,
and make things happen.
we are putting a lot of pressure whenever
But
opportunity comes.
I want to mention one thing here. See, single-handedly, I have so much esteemed regards for this great man. He's missing from here. Where is our GBK Rao garu?
Jivakara.
You should see that place. It's such a heaven on earth, and it's incredible. And luckily, he has incorporated Amruta Aharam, where my daughter actually does 3 days program and trying to communicate to people all the aspects of these wonderful grains, healing effects, and how to cook, how to grow, and the oils, and of course, holistic way of healing, how to incorporate the right exercise practices, getting up in the morning, Surya Namaskaram, all that programs are designed, and it's going wonderfully, successfully for the last 2.5, 3 years. GBK Rao has been doing that. And so we are actually, he is an incredible person. With all his business acumen, he has converted that place into such a wonderful, I mean, it's heaven on earth. There is, as Sir first pointed out, just you have to be there to feel the.
One more thing I would like to add, sir. Dr. Reddanna sir is also endorsing these millets like anything whenever opportunity comes to policy makers.
Yes.
So,
no, we need to do everything that is possible so that
rice food chain has to be broken.
Absolutely.
Food chain has to be broken.
I think you know that. So all millet men have come. All of them are from Rayalaseema, including me.
Obviously, sir. No. I am from Karnataka. Actually, whole northern Karnataka we have established.
But you are born in.
Yes, sir. I'm born in, but all my life I have spent in Karnataka.
No, but
I'm for all practical purposes a Kannadiga. I heard Dr. Jagdish also mentioning he's from Karnataka. Are you, sir?
No, sir, I'm from Kurnool. Also from Rayalaseema. Also from Rayalaseema.
Yeah,
So,
fantastic. No,
Dr. Kadarvalli is from Puduttur, Kadapa district.
I was born in Puduttur. Yeah, I'm born in Puduttur.
So
Kadapa. In fact, Peddapaspula near Jamalmadugu, even today, there were some farmers growing kodo millet. In fact, Jamalmadugu area, in that place, they were growing kodo. And in Anantapur near Tadipatri area, that Kadri, Yadiki, all that places, high on foxtail and little millet. They have all been disappearing because of the rice and wheat access, the right, wheat and sugar cane. These are the three big bad players who have spoiled the whole world.
So there's one question in the chat. Would you like to answer, sir? Kadarwali, sir?
Yes, sir.
Considering this disease curing food, I would like to know if you have any experience related to millets helped heart patients recovering or curing them.
Sir, it is bear with my arrogance. Bear with my arrogance. Telugulo em cheptam chitikani veli pani ani. Lakhs of people, not 1, 2, 3, not thousands, lakhs of people have got out of. In fact, people who are declared as dead, tomorrow you are going to die and we cannot even operate on your heart. Even such cases where now they are walking 10 kilometers without winking their eye. So hundreds and thousands of people. Heart problems are the easiest to heal. Dr. G.B.K. Rao has come back. He will vouch for it. Thousands and thousands. In Amrutaharam course itself, hundreds of testimonials are there. Hundreds and hundreds. Sir, you disappeared meanwhile. Sir, we were talking about you.
Yeah, certainly this Amrutaharam program, Dr. Sarlaji, making a wonderful effect on the people. Many of them, people even can't walk, can't even, straight walking, almost 90 degrees bending while walking. But people, this Amrutahar, the millets, kashayams, katiganulu, katibellam, that is palm jaggery, within 20 days, the effect on them, we have seen 21 days. So, they are perfectly, there is no disease which he can say cannot be cured.
No, recently in Anantapuram, one village, we conducted 30-day program.
That is the testimonial complete.
Yeah, 30 different kind of people. Aging.
I participated, sir. I was one.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So
I was truly convinced.
The parameters were so many, and all of them got cured. All of them.
Only one thing, the oil must be prepared chemical free. That is the only one aspect has to be seen. If something, that is the only one aspect where it grows. That is more important.
Of course, Anantapur has a rich source of groundnuts, and then lot of bulls are simply being killed. So we can get Anantapur, make a big hub of bull-driven oils. Sir, that Agriculture University should take up as an important project. Madam, for you also, this is one of the very important project that all your objectives, all your goals are weaved into this project.
Definitely, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
There is one more question.
Yes, sir.
I will take it, sir.
Yes, sir. Which type of millets are useful for blood production and contains high in iron?
Kodo millet and brown top, they are very good. And we have the PDF, sir. All protocols for blood cancer, all the things are listed. I hope I will put again, pass it on to Divya, and you can all get the copies, PDFs. And you can actually walk into Pragati, and he has got big Amrutaharam book. So, and
English and Telugu both.
Yeah, we should all meet in Pragati for next symposium.
You can download the PDF from pragatiresource.com, www.pragatiresource.com. English and Telugu both you can download almost 365 pages, very elaborate with recipes and how the each millet content, whatever the Dr. Kadarwali is given the feedback on the previous edition. It is improved version. It is almost all the information is available.
Sir, we also have FABA President Dr. Asdul Ghani here from Bangladesh. Dr. Asulgani, welcome.
So would you like to say a few words?
Oh, thank you very much, sir. I was in another meeting, unfortunately, but I just joined in the end of this conversation. And I was actually silently listening because I missed the most part, but it was so interesting to me. And thank you very much, Dr. Kader Wali. And it was really a great talk, and I'm so sorry that I missed it. I have so many questions, but this may not be so nice to start asking that many questions right now. But hopefully I will be in touch. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
the video of this one will be available
Yes,
for
yes.
you to go through whenever you want.
Okay, okay.
So the FABA president is always from outside. Now, current president is from Bangladesh, Dr. Asadul Ghani, who is a scientist in an international institute in Bangladesh. So welcome you. Thank you for joining.
And sir, let's all plan for a physical meeting in Pragati or in your
Yeah,
wherever.
I think Dr. Asadul Ghani will be in Hyderabad November 25th and 26th. One visit will plan to Pragati.
Certainly, is most welcome, and also the course, that is the diploma course on this particular health, that is very important to have students that Professor Redana has to take lead this central university to take up this project, which will help the teachers. We need the teachers. We need this promoting our health through millets, kashayam, katigam, katbellam. That is palm jaggery and cold press oils. Also is very important, which we have to have the course. That is Dr. Kadarwali is a dream project of this, having a course material, giving it to the students.
Definitely, I think a diploma course is being planned in collaboration with the University of Hyderabad. I'm sure maybe in the next year, the course will be open for people to join online. And
wonderful. Good.
So there is one last question from audience. Can I go for it? Yeah.
Please, please, please.
Can millets help to reduce the pain of nail?
Oh yes, acne. That's a hormonal imbalance. There is a protocol written. It is very simple procedure. Absolutely. No issues at all.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have one question. As you said, different kind of millets available in the market now. And you said the millet husk also has an important molecule like...
Not husk, just the immediate top layers on the grain. Not husk has a lot more, almost like a very insoluble and very difficult to digest fiber. So
okay, so we are getting that lignin, you said just upper layer of the seeds.
Yes.
Okay, but in the market we are getting pure seed, not with that upper layer also. So how to get that?
Yeah, the polish. That's what. If you have a very high-end polishing machines, then the problem is. So cancer kind of cases may take more time to get healed. That's the difference. So if you actually process with the small mixie, which we have already put the information on the YouTube, how to process for a common single woman in the farmer can process and then benefit, and she can sell. In fact, we have done all that. Reds, there is an organization, single woman organizations. Now more than 100 women are actually making the grain palatable for common man. And in fact, one of the ladies entrepreneurs, she in fact makes the fermented porridge and sold to the village diabetic patients and healed more than 100 patients by herself. So she grows, she makes the grain, she cooks, and then feeds the patients in the around village, and she has helped so many people. So this is the way things are working.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. I think Jagadish, you may conclude.
Yeah, close the session, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. I mean, really heartfelt thanks. So this is, I think, one of the different kind of webinars that FABA organized, as far as I know, because we were all the time about biotechnology, like, drug development, skill development and everything. But this is more about, commoner, even a commoner can understand, not only biotech students. So really thankful for everyone.
This is the real biotechnology, sir.
Yes, sir. I was just going to mention, and this is the real biotechnology.
True, sir.
Thank you.
Great.
So thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. We will see you. We will see you for Amrita Aharam
at Pragati.
at Pragati.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.
Okay.